What's happening? It's John from Long Island. It's Saturday, May 4th. I had some free time. I figured I'd put in another video up with 5 of my most recent vinyl purchases. I didn't get out to Record Store Day a couple of weeks ago. From what I was seeing, people were lining up at 3 in the morning in the rain. You can have that. I'm done with it. I'm not going to battle people for a record. It's not something I'm interested in doing anymore. But I did get what I was gonna, if I was gonna go out, I was gonna get one particular album, and I did get it. But I got it on eBay. I paid $20 more than the asking price, the sticker price with shipping. So I don't feel it was a bad deal. That's what I got to pay to avoid the weirdos and these vultures at these record stores. That's what I'm fully prepared to spend $20 to do that. So I guess I'll show that to you first. All right. So here it is. This is the Grateful Dead live at the Beacon Theater, June 14th, 1976, the entire show. First time on vinyl. Limited edition of 7,600. This is a great show in Dead history. 1976, they were really doing well. This has a great version of Road Jimmy, which is why I bought it, because I heard that. I'm like, I gotta have this. Cassidy, Brown Eyed Women, Tennessee Jed, Cosmic Charlie, which is very rare, U.S. Blues. It's like again, if you like the Dead, you're gonna love this. This sounds great. I got burned years ago on a Dead release. It was Cornell University, 1977, Record Store Day. I think it was 2018. I didn't get it, and I'm kicking myself in the ass for it, because that album now goes for $500 on eBay, for a lot of money, and that's one of their best shows live at the Barton Hall in Ithaca University. Any Deadhead would tell you that's one of the legendary ones. This is very good though. This is again, I heard Road Jimmy. I couldn't get enough of it, so I had to get the box. So here it is, Grateful Dead live at Beacon Theater, 1976. All right, what's up next here? We'll go with this one. This one just came out. A band I love. I have loved for the last 10, 12 years. This is Blackwater Holy Light, if you only knew. Blackwater Holy Light, I talk about a lot on these videos. As far as new bands, and they're not really a new band. Like I said, they've been around for at least 12 years, 15, maybe even 15 years. All girl doom, called doom. It's doom. It's psychedelic. It's dream pop almost. It's shoegaze. It's a lot of stuff. It's 100% original, and I can guarantee you that. If anybody's sitting there saying there's no original bands, instrument-driven bands, they're full of shit. Because I mean, I talk about these girls all the time. This is what you're looking for. Very dreamy stuff. The vocals are very soft, very reverby, very echoey. I got nothing bad to say about this band. They keep putting stuff out. This is an EP. I don't know if there's going to be a full length coming, but it's got 4 songs on it. All of them are good. Torn Reckless is probably one of my favorites on this. Wandering Lost. It just came out 2025. Suicide Squeeze Records. Check out Blackwater Holy Light. If you're into any type of, original music, if that's what you're looking for, it's 100% original. All right. Let's go with 100% original. I'll go with these guys. I'm slowly collecting all their stuff on vinyl. This is the White Stripes' first record. Originally 1999 released. This is a 2009 repress on Third Man. Third Man does a great job with their presses. I've never had a bad one. I've never had one that sounded shitty. This is their debut album. It's got a shit ton of songs on it. My favorite would be Big Three Killed My Baby, probably, or I Fought Piranhas. But White Stripes, you're getting with the White Stripes, right? It's something 100% original. I've never heard anything like this when it came out, and then there's a lot of imitators after that, but they were the real deal. You know who the White Stripes are. I don't really have to get much more into this. Just I wish they would have gotten back together and put out some more records. I really don't like Jack White's solo stuff all too much. It's not for me. All right, next one. All right, this guy. This is Kiss Dynasty, 1979. I know. You either love Kiss or you hate Kiss, and I understand the hatred for them. Not the greatest musicians, not the greatest songwriters. Not from the reports of people who deal with them, not the greatest people to deal with either. But who gives a shit? I grew up with Kiss, and the mystique of Kiss, the whole thing. I was a kid, of course, but this music has stayed with me my whole life. This particular album, Dynasty, was 1979. Like I said, had more of a I don't know. They tried their first experiment with disco with "I Was Made for Loving You," and it's a fucking great song. Also, 2000 Man cover of the Rolling Stones song is on here. X-Ray Eyes is a good one. Dirty Living's a good one. But this is towards the end of the classic Kiss, where they were kind of getting sick of each other, and bringing in outside songwriters. I mean, on here you have a lot of outside songwriters on this one. "I Was Made for Loving You" was Paul Stanley, Vinnie Poncia, Desmond Child, who you'd always see Desmond Child's name everywhere, popping up on records from like Bon Jovi records to all these others. He always has his hand in the mix somehow. But either way, I get it. I get the hate for Kiss, especially what they have become. But again, this is from my childhood, and I love Kiss. Yeah, so I mean, it's not much more to say about it. Speaking of my childhood, this was one of my favorite records growing up. This is Slayer's Seasons in the Abyss, 1990, Deaf American Records. This is a repress, obviously, from 2022. It sounds great. Slayer was my favorite band when I was a kid, 15, 16 years old. And this album blew my mind. Now, you gotta understand, my first exposure to Slayer was South of Heaven, 1988. And it was evil, it was creepy, and everyone kept talking about Rain and Blood, the one that came out in '86. Said, no, you gotta hear Rain and Blood, you gotta hear Rain and Blood. So that's what I, obviously went towards. And Rain and Blood, to this day, I can't think of a more perfect album in the genre. I really can't. Maybe Morbid Angels, Blessed of the Sick, or Covenant. But as far as thrashy speed, you can't get better than Rain and Blood, really. So people were very taken aback when South of Heaven came out because it was slower. It wasn't as chaotic as Rain and Blood. But I loved South of Heaven. That's how I really got into Slayer. And then when they were making this album, and I was waiting for this album to come out, and it blew my doors off. War Ensemble, Blood Red, Spirit in Black, Expendable Youth, Dead Skin Mask, Hallowed Point, Skeleton Society, Temptation, Born of Fire, Seasons in the Abyss. My favorites on here would be Hallowed Point, Born of Fire, and Seasons in the Abyss. Every song is good. The only thing about this, I listen to it now as an adult, it's very, very mid-tempo for Slayer. So I understand when you went from Rain and Blood, South of Heaven, South of Heaven still had some burners on it. And then into Seasons in the Abyss, which was more thought out songs, kind of. Songs were structurally different. A lot of writing by Jeff Hanneman, which was great because he was one of my favorite songwriters. Great record, but again, now that I'm looking at it, very mid-tempo. It kind of drags in the middle. I mean, it opens up with War Ensemble, which will kill you. Blood Red, that's a nice groovy guitar riff. Spirit in Black, which is fast enough. Expendable Youth, I don't love. Dead Skin Mask, as when it came out, I thought it was so great. I hate it now. Like I said, Hallowed Point is pretty fast. Skeleton Society is another mid-tempo. Temptations is just weird for me. Born of Fire is nice. Seasons in the Abyss is the closer, and that's a great song. Not necessarily fast or heavy, but catchy and still great. But yeah, man, now I'm a 50-year-old man talking about Slayer. It's a little different, from when I was a kid, and I'm looking at these guys like they were psychopaths, and I loved it. But that's it. That's the 5. I'll show you this. This has nothing to do with what I'm talking about, but it was on top of my my turntable. I just picked this up. Got this on eBay. There's a music book for Johnny Cash. My mother's hymn book. That was one of my favorite CDs. It came out in like '04 or so. So this is all basically old hymns that Johnny Cash that he recorded with Rick Rubin. I had the CD. It's never been pressed on vinyl, except for there was a box set called Unearthed, Johnny Cash, and I think some of these songs are on that. I don't know if it's the whole album, but some are on this, so I might try to check that out. But yeah, this is, I mean, this was in great shape, and I figured, hey, let me just, you know, pay $5 for this. With shipping was like 12 maybe, I don't know. Again, music books, I used to have a ton of these, but this has a lot of great songs. You got old hymns, and they have, I don't really read music per se, but it's got the chords, so that's all I really need. But yeah, very cool. Those are 5. I have some more stuff coming. I have some stuff on pre-order. I know I have another Dead set on pre-order, so I should be looking for that. Other than all that, everything's the same. Just gonna keep on going with the vinyl, and see what I can pick up. There's another record show in a couple weeks. I'm gonna go there, right here in Massapequa. So I'm gonna check that out, and I'm gonna make another video after that, show you some new stuff. So thanks for watching. Have a great day.